What's up, YouTube? Shawn from the Guaranteed Success Plan, and today we're going to talk about your first 30 days in the business, how I got my first multi-million-dollar sale 1 week in and parlayed that into multiple transactions. So here we're going to cut the fluff, get straight to it. Our first 30 days in the business. I literally remember mine. I remember stalling to get my license. It took me a full year to go through the course because I was so terrified of becoming that 90% failure rate. All of those same struggles and stresses that you guys are feeling, trust me, I had them. I had no boss, no accountability, no plan, no nothing. I was coming into the industry dead broke. I had no clue what I was doing. I just knew I needed to get to it. If I only knew then what I know now. Honestly, guys, I had a really good start. I had my first multi-million-dollar listing about a week in. I was able to parlay that into a couple more. I finished rookie of the year for my brokerage. I did around $20 million my first year in the business. I had no help, no money, no nothing. I just fumbled my way along, but I was able to develop a plan and structure along the way. And if only I knew then what I was able to develop and know now, it would have been even crazier of a first year start. Let's dive into some of the things that you guys truly need to know and understand your first year in the business, because this is one of the parts that's missing in a lot of these 30-day videos that I see. There's 3 stages to success: time, talent, and money. What happens is we all start in the time phase. That's the only thing we have. So we need to spend an unproportionate amount of time developing the skills and lessons and all the stuff that we need to learn in order to create more talent. Once we have more talent, we spend the same amount of time, but with more skills, and we're gonna get better results. As you get better results, then you enter into the money phase, because you're obviously gonna start generating more money. In the money phase, you actually start buying back your time. So that's when you hire an assistant and admin, you start a team, you start running better ads, you get a better website, you start generating more traffic. That's when you start doing way less of the old school prospecting methods and way more of the new school prospecting ones, because the new school ones cost a little bit of money. But then once you enter into that phase, you start buying back all that time and your life becomes so much better. So the quicker that we can move through that, the time, talent, and money phase, the faster you're gonna love this business, the faster you're gonna get your weekends back, the faster you're gonna start a team, and honestly, the more fun you're gonna have. But you have to understand, we're starting in the time phase, and we have to put in our time so we acquire the talent. When we acquire talent, we move into the money phase. And once we're in the money phase, the whole game changes. One other thing that we have to understand before we start diving into our first 30 days is we have to understand that we are also the only employee in our business. This is a giant mistake I see all the time. Everybody comes in here thinking they're gonna be the boss, which you are the boss of your own business, but you're also the only employee. So if you're not ready to put in the work, if you're not ready to grind in the corners, it's not gonna happen for you guys, I promise you, unless you got a lot of money behind you or you're joining a team where they're gonna be sucking out 90% of the commission from you. It is not gonna work as a solo agent if you do not put in the time. Let's dive right into it. So let's talk about our first 30 days. Day number 1. So you've already picked a brokerage, you're ready to show up for work. The first thing that you need to do is create an action and commitment plan. And I'm not talking about goal setting, I'm talking about an action and commitment plan. We got a video of that over here and a link to a PDF below of one that you can use to fill out. So where we need to start is with our big why, the reason why we're in this business. Make an annual goal from that, and from our annual goal of where we want to see ourselves a year from now, we create a GCI target. That's gross commission income. Once we create our gross commission income, now we can start reverse engineering our day to find out what it is exactly that we need to do in order to come back up and hit that GCI target. So we're going to break down how many deals we're going to be doing a month, listing and buyers, how many deals we're going to be doing a week, listing and buyers, and then from that, we can break down our daily activity. So what are the daily activities that are going to lead up to my GCI target? We're going to be starting in the time phase because typically we only have time to spend. We're not in the money phase yet. So some of the things that are going to cost us time, not money, are door knocking, cold calling, working your SOI, open houses, those type of activities. Those things are going to cost you time, not as much money. One amazing thing that you're going to learn with this is that sellers cost time to get and money to sell. Buyers cost money to get and time to sell. So while you're investing all of this time, if you're truly doing these things, door knocking the proper way, working your SOI the proper way, making cold calls, all of these are actually going to produce more listings, which are really going to help your business explode. Because listings, we can have 3, 4, 5 transactions to 1, which I got explained in another video over here. Whereas buyers are going to be a 1-to-1 transaction. You get the buyer, you spend the time selling them, and then they're done, they're gone. Maybe you get a referral out of it, maybe you don't, but with a listing, I'll show you guys how to maximize that into 3 to 5 transactions. So for example, here's what my daily schedule broke down to when I was a new and just solo agent. One of the things you have to do is wake up on time because again, you have no boss, there's no accountability, you wake up whenever you want. So you need to start waking up early. Now I actually wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning, if you can believe it. But back when I was a solo agent, I was waking up around 7:30 or 8. So wake up on time, do your morning routine, Then we start making our cold calls. So from 8:30 till about 11:30, I was making my cold calls. From 11:30 till 12, you break for lunch. I came back and I would do my social media plan and follow up. To be honest with you, when I first started out, it would take me 1, 2, even 3 hours to make a social media post. So that block in the middle of the afternoon was me making my social media posts or doing social media follow-up or just working on my algorithm or working on growing my sphere. So all afternoon is dedicated to follow-up and social media. And with social media, we're talking about social media growth, social media posts, and keeping that algorithm high. Then after the social media is all done and your follow-up's all done, you can take a little bit of a breather. So here's where you can read, play video games, if you want to take a nap, you want to eat dinner, any of that kind of stuff, because we're not done yet. Again, we're investing a lot of time into our business so that we can really catapult ourselves into the top of the top. So once you're rested and refueled, this is when I started making my warm calls. So from give or take 4:35 to around 7:38, I'd be making my warm calls. So working my sphere. And again, we got that script down below. So in those 3 or 4 hours, I would usually make anywhere from 8 to 10. Sometimes I max it out at about 12 warm calls. So I'd be working my sphere every single day. Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, we work our sphere. Then on Thursdays and Fridays, I would do the exact same thing, except I would replace the sphere calls with door knocking, and I was door knocking for my open houses. And here's where we're gonna get into my first multi-million-dollar listing that I parlayed off into a few more listings. Again, this is my very first week in the business. I'm working my sphere. This is one of the only pieces of advice that I actually got that was useful. When I was asking people, how do I prospect? They're like, work your sphere, work your sphere. And I'd be like, what does that mean? And I said, well, call everybody. We call everybody, and then what? Well, ask if they want to buy or sell real estate. And for me, that didn't really work out too well. It was like 10, 15 years I haven't talked to people, and I'm just going to call them randomly and ask if they want to buy or sell their house or they have referrals for me. So right out of the gate, I developed my own warm call strategy. And it's not a pitch and it's not a script because it doesn't work that way, but we're actually truly just connecting with our sphere. We're genuinely and generally catching up with everybody. We're seeing if there's anything that we can help them with at all. So not in real estate, but just period, with their business, with their life, with anything realistically. So just catching up with them, seeing if I can help them. And then if they have any real estate related questions or referrals, we kick that in at the end. So as I'm making my warm calls, I got a hold of somebody who was just about to list their house. And they said to me, they go, oh, you're in real estate now? You know what? I'm gonna give you a shot. I'm gonna let you list my house. So I'm all excited for this listing. I pull up and it is literally a mansion. It is gorgeous. It had a huge triple car garage, 2-floor ceilings, nice shiny fixtures everywhere. Our benchmark is around $400,000. We end up listing this house for $1.35 million. That's 3 times the benchmark price I got from a warm call my first week in the business. Cost me nothing but time. Now, from that first listing, I actually went door knocking and I door knocked a little over 300 houses, inviting people into the open house. I know people would say, oh, nosy neighbors, we don't want to bug people, we don't want them coming in. A lot of times sellers are worried about the nosy neighbors and people coming in just to check out their house. But me, I see it totally opposite, whereas we all want our friends and family to live close to us. And that was the intent of me going door knocking. So I wasn't inviting the neighbors in to come check it out. I was actually inviting the neighbors to have their friends, family, or coworkers live close by, the people that they wanted to live with. And while I was out knocking those 300 doors, I actually ended up connecting with 2 more sellers that I ended up putting their house up a couple months later. And this is what I'm telling you guys. If you actually go through and invest the time in doing the tried, tested, and true methods, working your sphere properly, doing the open houses, going for the door knocking, making your calls, all of that will translate into a lot of business right off the hop. And that all comes down from making your action plan of what your GCI target is and boiling it down to what you're going to do every single day, making that schedule throughout the day, and then staying accountable to that schedule. It is honestly that simple. Once you've made your schedule and you understand what you're going to be doing every day, we talked about having social media tied into there. So you have to start all of your social media accounts. So that's Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, Pinterest, Snapchat, TikTok, all of them. Once you're signed up for all the social media platforms, sit back for a minute and think about what your brand truly represents, what you are as a new agent and what you bring to the table that's going to be different than the other 1,000 or 2,000 or 10,000 agents that are in your market. Once you have your brand narrowed down into how you want to be perceived as a realtor and you want to be perceived as a person, we make sure that we mix in those type of posts with everything that we're doing all day long. So we're always giving value to our brand and what we can bring to the people when they want to buy or sell with us. Another massive thing that you need to do when you're a new agent is get in the habit of checking market stats. As a new agent, you're going to come across as new and fresh and not knowing what you're doing. So one way that you can actually combat that and come across as a professional is knowing the market stats. So if somebody has a question, you can reply right away. When somebody's thinking about buying or selling, you already know about the neighborhood, you already know about the area, You know if we're trending up or down, or where the best deals are in which neighborhoods. Knowing that type of information is how you're going to come across as an expert and not somebody who's just brand new on the job. All right, guys, so let's sum this up really quick. So here's the things that you need to do as a brand new agent. Understand that there's 3 phases: time, talent, and money. And you're in the time phase, you're going to be investing a lot of your time. Write down that GCI target, know exactly what you're going to make for a year, and reverse engineer that by month, by week, and by day of exactly what you need to do every single day that's going to add up into that GCI target. Once we have our daily prospecting activities mapped out, make a schedule and make sure that we reserve enough time and we time block enough time to add up into that GCI target. Truly understand that you are an employee inside your business. You do own the business, but you're also your own employee, so that you're going to be putting in all the work. Start and optimize all of your social media platforms. I promise you, you're going to need them all. You're going to get business from them all. One question I get asked all the time is, do you really get deals from things like Snapchat? Well, I can tell you, I did 5 deals my first year directly from Snapchat. And lastly, build a habit where you're checking your market stats every single day so that you are an expert in your market. All right, guys, I hope that was useful for your first 30 days in the business, or even for you agents that have hit a bit of a slump and you kind of gotten away from what you should be doing every day. This is a really good reminder and a reset of the daily tasks that we should be doing. But if you liked it, click the bell up top, subscribe down below, and leave some comments or questions.